Welcome once again, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. This is your man Roy with yet another Marvel Contest of Champions Champion Overview, Part 2. So today we're looking at Winter Soldier. If you've missed Part 1, guys, make sure and get onto the channel and look back. You'll see from that video, I don't rate Winter Soldier very much as a defender. There is a couple of hints and tips in there that you can utilise if you are fighting him, that will give you means to dodge his attacks. But if you are thinking of using it in Alliance War, there are other champions I would pick. And one of the later videos that we're going to look at is some of my favourite old school champions to use as Alliance War defenders. So make sure and check that out when it comes out. But today we are looking at part 2 of Winter Soldier, which if you've seen any of the videos before, we are looking at him as an attacker. And as my part 1 video says, I think this is one of the underrated champions in the game when it comes to raw power. And what we're going to do is we're going to have a look at my Winter Soldier, because that's the one that we'll be using to demonstrate his attacking ability. But we're going to see just how effective he can be given the right set of circumstances. So let's have a look at this bad boy that I have. So I have used Winter Soldier for about 2 and a bit years now. He was one of the first 5 stars that I managed to duplicate. And naturally the first one that you get when you're relatively new to the game, you whack it all your sig stones into this character before you start awakening other champions that are maybe a bit more useful and more utilisable. But what I've found with this champion is that he is a stalwart and he does throw up a few surprises. So my one is also awakened, so we have a chance to deplete the target's power for up to 22% of max power, depending on his critical hit damage. So again, getting the ability to increase both your critical hit rating but also your critical hit damage. It's going to give you more of a chance to hit critical hits, so it's a 15% chance to then power drain, and then the amount that you drain is based on the critical hit damage. So we make sure we get critical hits wherever possible. Now, 11% chance to gain a Fury buff for 7 seconds, so it currently grants me 850 odd damage increase, which is fairly extensive when we look at the gameplay, because we are going to throw a very, very useful synergy into this champion. Now, I do change between the ammo types depending on the champion that I'm up against. There's no point in throwing up an incendiary against Human Torch or Mephisto or Colossus if we manage to get into a fight with them, because they're going to be immune, and so there's no point. We might as well use either the armor piercing to ignore the armor rating, or hollow point if they are susceptible to bleed damage, because we are going to get more bleed out of them. So we've looked at in the part 1 video in terms of special attack. So special attack has 55% chance to do bleed. For me currently it's 1600 over 4 seconds. The SP2, 85% chance to do just below 2000 damage. But then the special attack 3 is 100% chance to deal just under that 4000 direct damage over 3.5 seconds. So if we utilise that with the hollow point to increase the duration by 50%, that actually is going to increase to also 5.25 seconds. So the damage is actually going to be just under 6000 damage that we can deal a damage and bleed if we utilise that SP3 with hollow point. And certainly against champions with a higher health pool, you know, going through event quests at epic level, or going through story at Act 5, I don't really see much point in launching the SP2 unless you're up against champions such as Void, because he does have a multiple hit SP2, and what that allows us to do is also nullify Void's debuffs that he's placing on us. Depending on the champion, again, if it were up against Colossus, for example, I would launch the SP2 with the armor piercing rounds, just because we've got more hits in there, more chance to do critical, but also because it's going to go against his armor rating. Now, what I want to draw your attention to is actually, it's not one of Winter Soldier's buffs, synergies, sorry, it's actually Killmonger's. So Killmonger has a unique synergy with Winter Soldier, which is the turning point for this champion. And we see at the top here that Winter Soldier has a plus 5% attack for each hit of his combo meter to a maximum of 100 hits. So it basically turns him into a mini Star-Lord awakened, where we are going to deal increased damage for each hit on the combo meter that we have. So if we can build up that combo meter, we're going to deal more damage in a protracted fight. Coupling that with the Fury buff that we can get, coupling that with the bleed damage from the SP3 and the hollow point means that this champion can deal some serious bleed damage if the occasion arises to it. And this is one of the reasons why, certainly in the longer battles where there may be more drawn out, if we can't repeatedly stun the champion, or certainly he was my second choice along with Star-Lord when going through Realm, then he's building up that attack to do some serious damage. So it's actually that we're going to utilise this champion for the demonstration. So we're going to go into Realm of Legends up against himself, and you'll see there I have Killmonger already in the party to provide Winter Soldier with that synergy. And we're going to do a little bit of a demonstration. So you'll see actually the animation. If you missed video 1, you'll actually see us dodging the SP1 animation, but you'll see the damage output that Winter Soldier can build up when he puts his mind to it. And again, Realm is actually quite a good training ground for anyone. So you'll see there we're doing, just before we're starting to just below 1,000 Fury normal hits and over the 2,000 when the critical hits manage to land. So we're now up to 3,500 on a good hit. But as I was saying, I found Realm of Legends quite useful for trying out different champions. Man, we got hit there, that's just typical. Because they are the old school champions, so the animation hasn't been updated or their abilities. So it's good for dodging practice for Winter Soldier, but also just to get a feel for how much health a champion can take away when you put your mind to it. So you see that the power drain's kicking in. And yeah, we're not going to worry about getting hit, guys. Happens all the time, especially when you try to talk and do one of these videos. What we're going to do is try and get as close up to the 100 hits as possible before launching a Hollow Point Special 3. Just to let you see the bleed damage that can come off this guy at his maximum. I will say the maximum is just as I have him powered up. But you see there that we're draining more and more health because we're building up the hit combo. We're dealing increased attack. So if we can get a Fury, we're doing more critical damage. So it's allowing us to drain more of that 22% of max power. So you're being able to drain just over, just under a bar at maximum levels. But it can be the difference between them launching a special 2 or a special 3 or not launching a special at all. So I find his unpredictability refreshing. Certainly it's a challenge. Because you do fight some champions and you're praying to whatever god it is that you pray to, that he's going to launch that power drain, and then it doesn't. And then you get absolutely annihilated by a special 2 or special 3. It's not good, guys, but as we said in some of the previous videos, it's not about doing it in a perfect run. We are going to make mistakes, and you've seen mistakes even in this video, guys. It's all about learning and just getting that practice in. I always find use champions that you're comfortable using. If you've managed to get a lot of practice in with them, you'll find that most champions have a place. Obviously you don't want to use Winter Soldier going up against Colossus if you can help it. because he's going to be immune from all of the abilities from his special attacks, which is just going to increase his armor potentially if he manages to trigger on immunity. So you want to avoid it if at all possible. So we're just about at the 100 there, guys. There we are. So we're going to let him throw that out, and then we're going to change to hollow point, and we're going to launch this, and we've hit the 20% damage as well. So guys, watch the bleed damage that comes off this. So we're dealing 3,500 per second, and that's again the increased timer. So that was over 5.25 seconds. And then we're going to have to let him launch a special 2 here and just block it. Again, pretty dodgeable. But again, just about there, guys. We've gotten down to just over 20% now. I think if we get ready to launch another special 3, along with the critical damage we're doing, being over that 100 hit count, I think that should be about us almost there, guys. So you can see it, he is a very, very good alternative if you've managed to pick him up along the way, and you don't have someone like Star-Lord for that combo count. You can see there at the 100 hits, we were able to take off approximately 10% health or thereabouts just with that special damage. Okay, so I hope you found that useful, guys. Winter Soldier, one of my absolute old-time favourites, and a regular in my main team up, just because I know how to use them, I know his abilities, so I can call upon them when I feel it's necessary to do so. But a very, very good champion, and one that's, in my personal opinion, underrated as a champion. So like the video, guys, if you've liked it. Make sure and subscribe. We are going to be launching more videos over the coming weeks, so make sure you get the notifications when they come through. We are going to start deviating from just the champion overviews, looking at some of the things you guys are requesting, maybe Alliance War setups, or even looking at some of the lower act run-throughs or event quests that make it more ideal for the guys that are maybe less experienced and maybe don't have a lot of the god tier or beyond god tier champions that are on offer out there. And lastly, make sure and drop a comment down if there's anything you want to particularly see, or if you just want to put a thumbs up to see how well the channel is going, would always be appreciated. So this is your man Roy signing out. Until next time, guys, take it easy, stay safe, and we'll see you soon. Ta-ra.